welcome to the second season of WION Business Masters, a show that offers you exclusive insights into the journeys and strategies of global business leaders. And today we have with us a dynamic force in the world of business and marketing, Mr. Raj Rishi Singh.
Thanks, Risha. Thanks for having me here.
Right. Mr. Singh, double hats as Chief Business Officer and Chief Marketing Officer at MakeMyTrip, India's leading travel platform. Welcome to WION Business Masters, Mr. Singh.
Thanks once again. Thank you.
There's lots to unpack with you, Mr. Singh, but first, of course, talk to us about how you manage and how you hold dual leadership roles as the Chief Business Officer and also as the Chief Marketing Officer at MakeMyTrip.
Risha, actually not so difficult. Business and marketing are very closely related. Marketing gets consumers, business actually kind of converts the consumer into P&L. So I think their related roles actually makes it easier for me because I've now viewed to both sides, which is how do you get consumers in and how do you maximize revenue from our consumers. So yeah.
Right, and before working with MakeMyTrip, you also worked with PepsiCo, Samsung and GE. Talk to us more about your experiences with all these companies and how it, if I can say, prepared you to venture at MakeMyTrip.
Sure. Before MakeMyTrip, I basically worked with large global brands. And by design of it, or the design of the organization structure in these companies, you get to build a lot of functional muscle. Like, for example, if you are doing marketing, then you build strong marketing, like strong functional muscles on marketing, similarly on revenue. What it does not do maybe is that they don't prepare you, I mean, you don't get as prepared for an overall P&L view because that aggregation happens at a much higher stage in these companies. Okay. So when I joined MakeMyTrip, my role was to build a new vertical. We wanted to build business travel as a technology platform. So I think my previous experience helped me because I had some functional muscles on marketing, on category management, on revenue, and on business development. And I could bring those to force as we started building our charter on building this new vertical called business travel.
Right. So clearly, what I've understood is this cross-industry exposure that you have perhaps helped you identify growth opportunities at MakeMyTrip.
No, absolutely. The cross-category experience was very useful because you start then stop thinking in a particular way. You don't think just cola or you just don't think only consumer finance. You start thinking consumer out. That this is, if the consumer is same, the way to reach out to him, irrespective of the categories, is similar. And yeah, it just helps you around your mind a bit more.
Right, absolutely. MakeMyTrip recently completed 25 years. What has been one of the most defining strategic campaigns that you've worked on? Something you want to share with us and the viewers?
Yeah, I think it's been 25 years. I've been only a part of the journey. So I'll talk about the 6 years that I've been with MakeMyTrip. I think a campaign that, or a series of campaigns that we wanted to do was that we were necessarily known as a flights product. I mean, when you think about flights, you would think about MakeMyTrip. And we also wanted to be like an accommodation business. And in the last 6 years, we've been focused on ensuring that when consumers think about booking a hotel or a homestay or a villa, they think about MakeMyTrip as their brand for choice. And we've done multiple campaigns around that. We've liberally used Ranveer Alia to break that message to the consumer.
Well.
Yeah. So I think the good news is that those series of campaigns have started working. And today, when you relate MakeMyTrip with a consumer opportunity, we are known both as a flight brand and a hotels brand. So I think that's something that's worked for us, at least in the last 6 years.
Right, so MakeMyTrip as like an umbrella. If a person like me, if I want to travel somewhere, I get everything on MakeMyTrip, from my travel to destination to flight tickets.
I'm glad you said that because that's exactly our approach. That if you're traveling, then you can use us not just for flights or hotels, but you can use it for every travel need that you have.
With AI evolving in today's digital world that we are seeing, how do you see MakeMyTrip evolve in the next 5 to 10 years? And what are some key aspects that are central to that growth?
Yeah. Actually, AI kind of opens up a lot of new possibilities and also a lot of new challenges. Recently, the Mary Merkel report on AI was an interesting one to read. But and again, it's a part of that report that the adoption of AI has been like never before. I mean, like the adoption of desktop internet or mobile internet, the adoption of AI has been way faster. For example, ChatGPT right now already has 800 million consumers, and 14% of them are in India. So Indians are being one of the fastest adopters to AI. So as a business, we can't stay away with it. We have 2-3 large use cases of AI. The simpler ones are that in our existing journeys, can we use AI to make life simpler? For example, if you are booking a flight on the app and you've got stuck somewhere, so we can now enable that by introducing a chat bot or a voice bot to you, where you can in real time solve your problem and move forward. Then there are other use cases. For example, if you're searching for a hostel or a hotel, then bases our past understanding on you, that how have you searched or what kind of hotels have you booked, we can surface the right content for you.
Okay.
Then there are other use cases, like we get a lot of UGC, like people who have traveled, they review the hotel. Now, can we summarize it better and show to our consumers in a more meaningful manner? For example, if you're going to Goa for a holiday, then can we give you that relevant information versus if you're going to Chennai on business, then the information that you require in a hotel is different.
Right.
So these are simpler use cases that we've already now started solving by using AI and generative AI. And then there are use cases on measurement. That how do you measure a market, like your marketing spend better? How do you kind of use your data more intelligently? And those are use cases that we are working on and we are constantly improving. But then there's also large consumer problems that we can solve. Like today, if you were to plan for a trip, what you actually do is you get inspired, then you discover the destination, and then you finally come to a platform like MakeMyTrip to finally book. But we can play now a broader role in the consumer's life. For example, why can't we aid discovery of the destination on the platform? The 2x2 app surface has its own issues, and limitations. But with the use of AI and new surfaces, and we can actually make this entire journey a conversation journey. So you can keep on talking, conversing, and moving forward in the journey of right from getting inspired. For example, your conversation can start from summer holidays are coming, where can I go?
So it gives you a list of where you want in India, where you want in world.
Absolutely. And then you can later discover a destination. Supposing you've shortlisted that I want to go to Goa. Like Goa is the easier one. Let me say Northeast. Like supposing you want to go to Northeast India and you want to go there for the first time, then in that conversation we can learn more that are you looking for adventure? Are you looking for some me time? And then recommend to you relevant things to do. And then using agentic flows, we can help you also book that itinerary. Right. So I think it also opens up like new possibilities, something that we would not venture in the or we would find it limiting to go in the past. Now those possibilities open up in a big way.
Clearly, in one of your interviews, you mentioned that AI is more of an enabler than a disruptor, and you've clearly specified how AI is an enabler in today's time. You often speak of customer experience and tech working hand in hand. How do you personally ensure that business innovation remains customer first and not just tech-led?
No, absolutely. See, I think tech. First of all, I would want to correct the earlier statement that I made. I was naive enough to say that AI is an enabler and not a disruptor. I would say it's an enabler and a disruptor.
Okay.
Because things are moving very fast and maybe there is disruption around the corner.
Right.
But I think the good thing is that inside MakeMyTrip, we view at disruption very positively. We think, okay, things might change, but it's good that things are changing because we have a new role to play, or we can do things differently. So we are excited about the future, and hence AI is a disruptor in a positive way. Let me put it like that.
Right.
And technology is key for us to enable. Okay, let me give you an example. For example, a lot of personalization or hyper personalization is an overused word, I would say. Insightful personalization is what what we at least aim to be. That how can you insightfully personalize for someone? And for that, technology is a big enabler. Because what technology enables today is that you form a better persona, better view on your consumers. Then you show them the right products, the right content, and finally you communicate with them in a way which is relevant. Now, all of that is a mixture of both consumer insights and technology.
Okay.
Like what I tell my team is that in today's world, marketing is both a science and an art discipline. You have to be a technologist and a psychologist to run marketing.
Oh, I'm hearing that for the first time. I was just coming to the fact as to how do you lead so many teams under you? How do you foresee yourself as a leader in today's fast evolving digital space?
Yeah, I think you have to be a leader and a learner because learning is super critical today. One of the things that we think internally in MakeMyTrip is that whatever has worked in the past will not work in the future. So even if you've done a great campaign, supposing we had a great execution plan that worked last quarter, we would try and challenge it that the world outside is changing, and how do we do it fresh given the new constraints or given the new realities that we're facing outside. So I think today's leaders need to be agile and very, very heavy on learning, because if you stop learning, then your team stop learning as well. So I think learning is as much an important framework of leadership today, and if anything, I would want to be want to be known for that like I put learning as a discipline inside my teams.
So learning is an ongoing procedure no matter where you reach in your career.
No, absolutely.
If my research is correct, you've done BTech from NIT Jalandhar and MBA from MDI Gurgaon. How did your academic background influence your transition into marketing and business leadership? Talk to us more about your academic journey.
See, post-engineering, like when you do an MBA and then you start working on business problems or consumer problems or marketing problems, at times you keep on thinking that why did I do 4 years of engineering? Or why did I do 4 years of technology when I actually wanted to be a business leader? But I'm so thankful that today actually my engineering degree does help me a lot, because business, technology, marketing, they've all really got tightly converged, and like never before. So, for example, data analytics is a large part of my marketing job. At MakeMyTrip, we roughly have around 100 million users coming to us every quarter. So we have this huge repository of first-party data that we can meaningfully use if we are able to carve out intelligent, insightful learnings from our own data, right? So some of it, because of my engineering degree, at least now I can relate to it, that how do you think about technology-first solutions? I can't code, but I can at least think structurally that what can technology solve for? How do we leverage technology to kind of underwrite data better, make it more insightful? And so thankfully I now feel that my engineering degree has not gone waste. It's not in vain. Yeah. And MBA and MDI was a great experience because the framework was more case-based, more real-time, a lot of industry exposure. So that prepared me very well for my early job. And I think those frameworks of looking at theory and the practical use of the theory, I mean, that always helps.
How do you foresee the rising influence of India and global travel? We did speak of travel destinations in India, but how do you see Indians perhaps traveling abroad, and how is MakeMyTrip helping in that?
Yeah, I think we are going to be a global force, especially in the travel category. And because as Indians are becoming more and more affluent, they're not just looking at discovering India, but they're kind of now discovering the world. For a lot of countries, we become like a large source of their tourism business. So that this rising affluence, aspiration in India, there's never been a time like this before. In the next like for example, we right now have around 40-50 million households who earn more than $10,000. So they have the affluence to spend on categories like travel. That number in the next 3 years is going to be around 100 million. So we are going to almost add 100% more households in the affluent bracket, and they will travel and they would want to explore the world. So is that. Secondly, also like the capacity addition, for example, on flights that Air India and Indigo are doing. The airport infrastructure in India that's got built up so well. What it'll also do is it'll attract people from outside India to come to India. Maybe the starting point is that can India become a transit hub? But secondly, India is a large country. We have so many great places to go. There's beach. We have amongst the largest coastlines in the world. We have Himalayas on the top. We have the Thar Desert, Northeast. There's so much to be discovered in India. So with our increasing infrastructure, whether it's road or flights or airports, I think we'll attract more global audience to come and visit India as well. And maybe India also becomes the large transit country or the transit destination as people are trying to explore the world. So that's number two. And again, like for Indians, I would say that for Indians now, there's so many Indians living outside India. There are around 40 million Indians who live outside India. For them, homecoming and exploring India. So I think no matter what vector you take, I think we'll be a global powerhouse in the travel category as well.
Right. Rishi, we did speak about your experiences with PepsiCo, GE, Samsung, and now with MakeMyTrip. Any strategic, pivotal moments that you want to like to share with us?
Yeah, I think the last 4 years of building the corporate travel business for MakeMyTrip, like that's been like a pivotal journey for me, because of like we started from scratch and now we build the largest corporate travel business in India as well. So we have a strong share of that market as well. And the way we did it was that instead of following the conventional ways of building this business, we built a technology-first business. So for me as a professional, it gave me the strength of building a business from scratch, learning technology, learning all disciplines of building an online business, and then seeing it grow and seeing it grow profitably. So I think that's been like a pivotal 4-year journey in my last almost 20 years of work experience.
Absolutely, 20 years, almost 2 decades of work experience. Who are the leaders within or beyond the industry that have perhaps inspired you, and what did you learn from them that you, even till today, you use it in your daily routine?
Yeah, Rasha, like I've been very, very fortunate because I think I've worked very closely with 2 industry stalwarts, like Deep Kalra and Rajesh Maghav. They're stalwarts in their own rights, and although like I interact with him very rarely because now he's not in an executive role, but Rajesh I work very closely with. Deep is a blue ocean thinker, so whenever you talk to him, you get inspired that how do you think beyond what you think is today, and how do you keep on looking at the future. And Rajesh is one of the greatest business minds that I've worked with ever. He can think very, very cleanly on and very first principles on business and how do we look forward and how do we navigate in this complex environment. So in some way, I've been very fortunate to work with them closely. Also, during my Pepsi days, I used to manage South India, based out of Chennai. Chennai was Indra's hometown. So Indra would come to Chennai at least once a year, and I had the opportunity to talking to her about Pepsi, her vision. And again, the great thing about Indra was, Raisha, that she was a global leader. I mean, she would manage PepsiCo, the entire PepsiCo universe. At the same time, when she was in Chennai during her vacation in December, she would text me that I found a dirty Pepsi bottle in this outlet. Please correct it.
Oh
so that told me that, absolutely, that you can straddle between being like a really, really strategic leader and yet have an eye on execution. So I think these 3 leaders stand out for me. I'm an avid follower of sports, and sports have so many leadership lessons. Like Virat, for example, it took him 18 years to win his first IPL trophy, and he remained motivated for 18 years. Like when you see so much failure, you get demotivated. You say, okay, maybe this is it. So him. Do you follow Formula 1 by any chance?
Not much.
Okay, there's this young champion called Max Verstappen.
Yes, that I've heard about.
Yeah. So Max, for example, this year does not race the fastest car.
Okay.
Maybe they're the second fastest car, but he's still winning races just by sheer focus and execution. So I think these were the stories that will stand out for me currently.
And when you reflect on your leadership journey, what personal habit or mindset has contributed most to growth? Of course, you've spoken about how these leaders and these sports stars have inspired you. But apart from that, any daily habit that you follow to be on top of your game?
See, I think the thing that works for me most is being learning agile. That I make it a habit that every week, at least I'm, if not reading, I'm listening to a podcast which is about something new. So I think just keeping myself refreshed, and I've made a discipline that every day, no matter how tough the day is and how long the day is, at least for half an hour, listen to something or read about something that you do not know of inherently. It keeps you
Refreshes your mind
it refreshes your mind.
Right.
Also, it can kind of keeps your mind activated, because whenever you learn a new thing, whether it's a new sport or a new discipline or a new language, it just kind of ensures that your brain is active and open to new ideas.
And do you also impart this kind of knowledge to your teammates? How perhaps do you ensure that your teams are always inspired?
Yeah, today's generation, I mean, people whom I work with are as smart. I mean, there's something about like people like you. You're just as smart. I mean, whatever we have learned by experience, you learn by just being in the new age. So I think that it's a two-way traffic.
Okay.
That you keep on learning and you learn back as well. So it's a two-way process, and I keep it open. And I think even like aspirations or inspiring, I think now it's a common thing. Like leaders alone can't inspire. Inspiration is participative. But what we do at MakeMyTrip quite well is that we keep large, hairy goals, and then as a team we kind of think that why isn't that goal achievable? Can we do it? Can we think differently? Can we do new things? So I think like amalgamation of innovation, thoughts, being open to ideas, being open to make mistakes. I think that's the way we remain a positive, inspired team.
Right. Having achieved so much throughout your career, how do you deal with pressure? If I can say, what do you do when you get nervous, or do you get nervous, if at all?
Like, I don't think as a person I have negative pressures or negative, like I don't get, like things don't daunt me, because I think everything that's gone wrong or every opportunity or everything that's looking difficult is actually an opportunity. So I don't get nervous or bogged down as a person. And also, luckily, I surround myself, like the team below me, like very, very sound minds. So I think net, like I don't see myself as a nervous guy.
So basically, if there's any kind of pressure that's coming onto you, you see that as an opportunity, which
Absolutely.
is also a very key thing for everybody who aspires to climb the ladder. I also want to know more about your success journey, or if you can attribute one lesson to your success.
I wouldn't call it, I'll take the success word out of it. Let's call it like the one learning from my journey. The one learning from my journey, and Raj, has to somehow inculcate first principle thinking, that instead of getting bogged down by the problem, or instead of thinking that the things are too complicated, if you keep it simple and say, okay, this is the end goal, this is the means to the goal,
where am I standing?
And where am I standing and how do I solve for it? Okay. And especially in marketing today, in marketing what's happened is that there's so many surfaces available. The consumer is on Instagram, he's on like multiple social platforms, he's watching TV, he's watching cricket, he's going somewhere, there's hoardings available. So there are so many channels available, there's so many content formats available, and there's this one consumer whose space around him is fully cluttered, and you have to speak to him. Now it can become a very complex problem, or you keep it simple for yourself, that saying, okay, what's my end goal? My end goal is that when I speak to Raisha, she is somehow motivated to check my app.
Yeah.
Now, if I keep that simple, that forget the clutter. What's the best? Yeah, declutter. And how do I meaningfully talk to you so that you are inspired to check our app? So I think that's what I would say, that that one of the things I've learned to practice is to keep it simple for myself and keep it on first principles.
I think that's something that we all should do. I think declutter a lot of things. We get bogged down, we come under pressure. But maybe simplifying problems will lead to some kind of a solution. Okay, Rishi, keeping all the business talks aside, let's get to know you more. What does your day look like? Are you a morning person, or do you prefer waking up by 9ish, 10?
I love waking up in the morning and I love sleeping late. So I'm a sleep-deprived person, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I think it's the one thing I want to change in myself, is to sleep more. But right now I'm a morning person and a late-night person.
Okay, Rishi, my last question to you. If you could give one piece of advice to all the aspiring business leaders who aspire to become like you once they grow up.
I don't know whether they should inspire to be like me, but they should inspire to become successful. And for that, I think today's world, be very, very open to ideas. Be very open to learning. Don't ever think that you know it all. Think that you don't know it at all. Like every single day, think that I'm an idiot and I have to learn a new thing. And so learning, agility, and maybe just open to ideas, open to experiment.
Right.
They'll be key for success in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Singh, for sharing your insights and your credible journey here with us on WION Business Masters. Your perspectives and leadership on growth has been truly inspiring. With that, we come towards the end of this episode of WION Business Masters. Stay tuned for our next episode.